Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Gotham City. I'm your host, Levy Rozman. This is a podcast where I talk to people who live in the chess world on the 64 squares as well as beyond them. And today my guest is Grandmaster from Brazil, Krikor Mekhitarian. He's also a Twitch streamer. He has a very substantial following on YouTube, and he's sort of the go-to guy for the Portuguese-speaking audience of the chess world. So without further ado, I hope you enjoy our conversation. Krikor, how are you?
Hey, Levy. Good to be here. How are you doing?
I'm very excited. So the World Championship ended, and I was going to invite a bunch of people to the podcast, and you're the first one who accepted, so it's an honor. Well, a few people accepted. You're the first one we scheduled. A few people declined, which was sort of sad. But
happens, I guess.
But I'm pretty I've been pretty excited to talk to you because I know you're kind of like, and tell me if I'm over exaggerating, but you're sort of the face of chess at the moment in Brazil. Is that accurate?
Maybe one of the faces. Yeah, one of the faces on the internet, and also maybe.
Well, what is going on with chess right now in Brazil? At least like from esports standpoint, you signed with. You're still part of Força?
Yeah.
Is that the name?
Furia.
Sorry, Força is force, right? And Furia is what?
It's like anger, kind of anger.
Not really. Fury, yeah, like Fury.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, so it's a nice.
How did that happen? Like, tell me about that. I know nothing. I'm pretty sure most people who are not, from Brazil or at least speaking Portuguese know anything about Brazilian esports. So how did that happen? When did that happen?
Yeah, it happened like the end of last year, 2020. It was curiously before actually the Queen's Gambit. So they were already hyped with chess before. I mean, Furia is an organization that they love opening up to new areas and sports and environments. So there were some of the owners that were already involved with chess. So they were excited to bring someone different, and they did that to many other sports as well. So that happened last year, and right when we signed, we had the Queen's Gambit, so it was like a huge thing happening both sides at the same time. So that was very, very exciting to be able to be around them, because esports in general, they have like a very high level of organization and expansion, much better than chess, even though they're much newer.
They play like League of Legends. Is that the most popular?
Yes, Counter-Strike is their main, but they play like League of Legends and Valorant and Rainbow Six. They have like very strong teams.
And is there like a South American scene for all this? They compete against other countries, or like I know here we have NA, EU, we have like Asia, but is South America? It's kind of its own region as well.
Yeah, no, they play on NA quite a lot on NA as well, and Europe also. Yeah, okay. I think that they play these major events. I'm not super knowledgeable in the other.
Me neither. I was hoping you might be.
Yeah, I mean, I've been following quite a lot because of them. I love to watch the Counter-Strike games when they play. That's mainly the only esport that Furia plays that I follow like quite a lot. I enjoy quite a lot seeing the streams and the games. It's very exciting once you start watching them. It's really, really nice especially when you're rooting for someone. So they play this major, which is basically, I don't know, kind of like a Grand Slam in tennis, or maybe one of this Grand Chess Tour events. They played the major this year, like last month. So that's like the best teams in the world. So they qualified there.
Admittedly, I was going to say, admittedly, I also am kind of struggling to catch up with all the different games and all the different esports. I just know that some creators were signed, and I was excited for them. And then, but all these different organizations, they have crazy like brand deals. And is it the same with you? Like when you signed with them, you have to do different. You basically give all your categories away. You know, your food, the car, device. Did they sponsor your keyboard and stuff like that? It's all the same kind of system. Or...
Yeah, more for electronics. I like the keyboard and the headphones, the microphones, stuff like that mostly. Yeah. But they have like a very strong structure and marketing and the brand is really strong, and it's very different. I mean, we in chess, we're not used to that at all.
No.
In teams and all this, responding to someone. You're usually an individual in chess. Of course, you can represent a country or a team in some events, but not like throughout the whole year. So you're responding to somebody, representing someone, and that's something that when we start to play chess, we look at the other sports and that should be really nice, to get a jersey of a team and represent someone. So it's been a great experience, because not only I'm a streamer on Furia, but also I'm a professional player. So I mean, I'm traveling abroad to like this World Cup, and then I use their uniform, the jersey, to play. And I had like a suit made to the World Cup.
Oh wow!
With the it's nice.
Well, is that the tournament you said you were playing at before the World Championship?
No, that was a team event here in Brazil.
Oh, okay.
That was a different event. Yeah.
Okay. So if you travel to play like over the board classical, you'll be wearing the suit and you'll be wearing the.
Yeah, I have the jersey. I have a suit. It was the first time they had the suit, because no other sport uses a suit. But for the World Cup in Russia, I had to they made it especially for me, the suit with the logo there. So that feels nice to go there with the sponsor. Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. Were you like the thought of playing an over the board tournament in a esports jersey? Are you more proud, or are you a little bit like, maybe people gonna judge me? Like, I'll tell you right now, for me, I think in like the world of chess, which is so stuffy, I don't know how I feel people, oh, look at this guy in his jersey. That's just me.
He's trying to like think he's better or anything.
Yeah, or just like, what the hell? He looks like a douche. That's just me. What about you? Were you more like, this is like awesome, Like, I don't care what people think. What kind of a person are you?
No, it felt good, definitely. It felt good. Because some people won't even know it's an esports organization. They think, okay, it's a sponsor. It looks nice, whatever. Because there's a logo, but you must know the team to understand that. So no, it definitely feels great to be good.
I definitely all for kind of pushing all this stuff into chess, and I love to see it. I might not be the best representative, because like I said,
you're a face. I mean,
online, sure, but I'm not I don't compete over the board against Magnus Carlsen. You and I both have a video of how we played Magnus, and mine is a 1-minute game online, and yours is a classical over the board game, right? So
right.
Okay. Classical has always been the standard for excellence in chess, and if it wasn't for online, maybe I would be pursuing it. But it's so hard. I have a lot of respect for you guys, like traveling and holding your nerves, and it is pretty brutal and exhausting. We'll talk about that too. But I'm super happy for you. And obviously, if Pro Chess League, if and when Pro Chess League comes back, Pro Chess League was always this kind of baby project that we just sort of in the chess world knew about. But if we have esports backing, and Brazil gets a team, and you all have the jersey, that'd be sick. Brazil is gonna have a nasty team.
Hopefully.
What's it like to play on an Olympic team in a country like Brazil? Every country's different in terms of how much information all the players want to share together. Is it very good camaraderie with all the players, and everybody's trying to help everybody? Like in a place like Russia, maybe it's a little tricky because you also have to play each other in the candidates.
And they they're elite players. They play against each other, so they're playing their opponents in day-to-day events.
Yeah, exactly. But in Brazil, what is it like? It's probably more a team kind of feel.
Yeah, it has been. Yeah, I played 2010 first time. Played sometimes since then. Usually it feels really good. I mean, of course we play against each other all the time, but it's not the same. Of course we play in smaller events, but we're not playing like in the candidates, as you mentioned, or in Norway Chess or whatever in St. Louis. So we have a good relation, and also it's the only event that we can, as you said, help each other. And of course we're always rooting for each other. We're friends, we have a good relation, but there you're just in the same team, so it feels really good. And usually it's very good, the atmosphere. in the Olympiad. Of course, I mean, the fact that we're not fighting for like medals or anything makes it
fair.
even lighter. Yeah, of course, we had some like top 20 results, well, here and there. Of course, we fight for the best result always, but it's not like a tense atmosphere or anything. Usually it feels good. Let's see how it's going to happen like next year in Russia. We have it coming again.
When is that?
Should be 2022 in Moscow. I think should be in August, September. I don't know, but the Olympiad, it's probably happening mid to 2022.
Were you part of a Brazilian team that had like the best finish in the history of the country or something like that?
Yeah.
What was the best finish for you guys?
It was in 2010. I played horribly. So, I mean, if I didn't play, they would do the same. I didn't help at all.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but the team was amazing. And especially in Swiss events, if you win the last like 2 rounds, it helps you so much. So we won the last 2 matches against like Slovenia and Croatia. That were very strong teams, or similar to us. And then we had a great finish because of that. But I was part of the team somehow,
so
even though not helping.
The team was probably Leitao, right? You, who else?
Yeah, 2010 was Leitao, Fear, Milos, me, and Diamant.
Diamant. Yeah, Diamant.
He was our best player actually. He almost got a medal. I think he was the 4th or 5th best.
Wow.
In his board.
That's amazing. Which board was he? Number 1?
Probably 4th board, yeah.
Oh, you're saying he performed the best. He performed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He almost got a medal on his board. Yeah, because it was that Olympiad that it was 2010. Yeah, the guy from France that was caught cheating and stuff like that. That guy was on his board, so he almost. Maybe he missed because of the guy.
Oh wow! Yeah. You know what's funny? I have this like memory. You just brought this up. I kind of remember this, but not really. Wow, I gotta go look this up after this episode. Cheating 2010. Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, that was pioneer, I guess.
You know, I coached the U.S. team at the World Youth, like the 8-year-olds, 10-year-olds, 12-year-olds, and it just made me realize that FIDE rating at that age is like completely meaningless, because in America kids get some access to FIDE tournaments, so they have this FIDE rating of 2,000, and they play somebody who's 1,100, right? Who's never played, like they play 2 FIDE tournaments, but they're the same strength.
Yeah, it's insane.
Does a similar thing happen in the Olympiad? Because you might be like a guy on board 4 and you're lower rated than everybody you play, for example, but you just don't get to play a lot of tournaments compared to maybe some people in Europe, for example, who just travel around, like play the leagues. And is that a thing, that you can actually be the same strength, but maybe 150 points difference? Or is that uncommon?
I mean, I think in the past, that was a reality. I think nowadays, in Brazil, we usually, it's the opposite. I think we're higher rated than we should if we were to play in Europe all the time. I see that because whenever we go to try to play in Spain or different countries, usually struggle quite a lot. Because we have more up-and-coming players there, especially like Indian players that we see that there are hundreds of them playing. They're so strong. Not only them, of course, but even in Spain, there are many talents that we see in events. So, and in Brazil, of course, we have our talents in our South America reality, but not close to that. So, and not only that, I think if you're like one of the top players here, people usually get really worried when they play you. They respect you quite a lot because, we don't have that many gems. We don't see the many gems here. So they respect you quite a lot. And there, nobody respects you. And that's good for their game, of course, because they try to beat you if they had a good position. Here, you can run away with a draw in many situations that you usually should lose when you're playing like a kid there, or not even a kid, but a player that is usually, he's used to play against gems. So he doesn't care. Like, okay, I'm going to lose this one, but I'm going to play against another one next time. So that's a big thing.
Very interesting. Wow. I know what you mean. I was surprised you said Europe, but then when you said you play like the kid from India, that definitely makes sense, because I don't know if you've been keeping up with, if you watch like these tournaments going on right now in Europe, like Sidgis, or there was all these different opens. It's insane, man. Like you go down this rating list and you're just like, who are these people? I've never heard of them in my life. I mean,
there's so many of them.
Yeah, but particularly from India right now,
Definitely. They're amazing.
It's insane. I'm looking every day like, who is this FM? Who is this IM? I've never heard of these people in my life, and they're 24, 20. You know, that's okay. So you make a good point. I know that GMs who come, or IMs who come to the United States, like we have this system right now where young guys and girls, but obviously it's a pretty big split, but men and women in chess, but like a lot of guys come over from Europe to study. We have universities here, and they go to college and they maybe make their GM title, play a little bit, and you know, they like 25, 50. But then when they graduate college, they have some degree, and then they just start getting invited to like all these random norm events to help fuel the next generation. And then within 6 months, they've lost 70 rating points, 80 rating points, and they're just gone. I mean,
it's crazy.
Probably the best example is, and I mean, I don't mean to like call him out. I like him. I like the guy a lot, but Cordova. So I played Cordova in 2018. I think he was 26-30, and I think I don't know what his rating is currently, but I think it's like 100 points lower. Like,
but I think no, he's very talented. He used to be around that. I know him.
I mean,
so. But on the US also, there's that, of course. But I think US is really, really difficult as well. I think it's similar that when we go to Europe, we feel the same thing when we go to the US, because there are so many new players and they're working hard on their game. They're not scared or afraid to play you. So in 2015, I was 2589. That was my peak rating. And I was really close to getting to 2600. I was playing like my best, working hard on the game. And I was scheduled to play an event in the World Open, but before that, an event in Washington. Forgot the name of the event. So I'm there, excited to get to 2600, and I lose 30 rating points. That was the worst tournament of my life.
Wow.
30 points. And I was like working my way up for like 5 years. No, like 5 points here, 8 points there. And I just like scored terribly. And it's not that I play, of course I played badly, but they played so strong. I mean, their position was so difficult, and it traumatized a little bit me to coming back to the US again. It's so hard, but they're good.
This was the World Open or the Washington tournament, or both?
No, World Open was fine. I just I played okay there. It was the other event. It was I forgot the name. There's an event right before the World Open, like a week before, in the same place. Yeah.
The Philly International, or
kind of DC Invitation. DC Invitation, I think.
Yeah.
It was the same event, but in DC instead of Philly.
Yeah.
I had a little taste of that some years ago.
Was it kids who you played who were like really tough, or was it just
not only some young players, but not only that.
I recently played, actually, it's funny, I also recently played a tournament, Washington Chess Congress, which stopped my momentum. I actually was gaining also some points on the way back from my completely laughable rating, and I ran into some kids at also, it's funny, in Washington, D.C., this tournament, who were maybe 15, 16. If you see someone who's 15, 16, and they're like 2,000, 2,100, you're not thinking you're playing some ultra prodigy, okay? You're thinking you're playing like a young player and everything. You have to be careful. These people played like 99% games against me. They just were super solid, didn't blunder. It's like, what do you do? I mean, you know, and then I take a risk. I'm in a worse position, but I know I can always maybe bail out, offer a draw. Maybe they're going to get like a little nervous.
Maybe. Yeah.
Or not. Sometimes they're going to play for a win. So
in that tournament I played against John Michael Burke also. But when he was 2,200, it was the last tournament. He was like 2,250 or something. And I made a draw with him. It was a normal game. And then next list he was up to 2,600, that whole story. Yep. Yeah. So it was his last tournament, one of his last tournaments too. So one of the young players that I faced. was already very good, of course. Yeah.
So I'm just going to explain what exactly we're talking about. So for those of you that don't know, there's a rating change factor in chess, which for anybody over 2400 is considered like 10. That's the rating change factor. So normally it's 15, but now normally it's 20. 15 doesn't exist anymore, right? I think it's just 20.
It doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's double until you get to 2400. So you gain and lose kind of double what you would lose if you're not 2400. Unless you're under the age of 18, I think, and under 2300, then it's 40.
And it doesn't update. So he was in the live rating. He was much higher already. Yeah. But you don't that it doesn't update until it's published.
FIDE has this really funny thing where if you play games between December 1st and December 31st, they all count as if you are a certain rating. They don't, like you said, they don't live update, which this is so new. People don't understand this at all. It's not like chess.com or Lichess or playing online. So you could stuff a whole month worth of tournaments as a 2200, even though you're gaining rating. And he gained like 400 points or something completely insane.
Exactly.
And
well, you just get that tournament that I lost 30 points. If I had like the 40, the factor, I would lose 120 points, right? Just so people can have an idea how disastrous it can be both ways, for winning or losing.
What's currently happening in the United States is we keep seeing random 12 to 15-year-olds who are 2370, and we're like, what? They were 2100. So we look at their history, and they played a sanctioned official hybrid match. Do you know this concept? You can play like a hybrid match now. I don't exactly know what it is, but it counts for your classical rating. So you can play a classical chess game versus someone in a different country. And so what they're doing is they're playing random IMs who are like 2300. Well, I'm a random 2300 IM, but a little bit less random than some random IM in, like, let's say Serbia, and they just beat them twice. And with K40, they gain like 40 points per game.
Wow. I mean, I played in a hybrid event online, but it was not federated. Yeah. So that's surprising.
These count. And so they get 3.5 out of 4, against the same two guys, and they gain 100 points.
Like that.
Yeah, like this. And then, it's crazy. You look at the rating chart. It's like they're 2100, then it's plus 90, plus 90, plus 90. It's like, what?
Like 2 months. Yeah, it's crazy. Gotta keep up with it. It's impossible.
So I mean, the rating manipulation is pretty insane. Where was it for us, man? We had to do it the traditional way.
Yeah, like every game there and go there, 5 points here, 10 points there.
Well, actually, no, I didn't have the traditional. I had K20, so I was the newer generation. I think you had K15 probably.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, no, I had 15 for sure. Yeah.
I never had 40, which was
even slower, the K15.
I know, it's like it's exactly the percentages of gaining is a bit slower. Well, I wanted to. I'm glad you brought up July and 2015 and 2589. I wanted to talk to you a bit about obviously kind of how we got here. So what were you doing? Like, before I invite my guests on, I try to find just a little bit of background that I never knew about them. And I cannot find anything about you, man. So tell me.
Really?
Well, I mean, like, I went to your Wikipedia page, and it's like, oh, he played in this Olympiad and this, and I'm like, I know all this stuff, but
results, yeah.
But like, what were you? Were you a professional chess player? Is that what you were doing, or were you teaching? What is the ecosystem for a GM who's like top 5 in Brazil to make a living?
Yeah, so basically, I spent some years only playing, which were like around that time, maybe 2013 until 15, which was coincidentally when I was playing my best and getting to my peak rating, of course. I was like focusing only on that, but it was a short period. So before I used to teach a little bit, but then I started teaching quite a lot again in 2016 until like 2020. And then, everything happened. The online scene changed quite a lot. And I'm there with my YouTube and Twitch channels, of course. But yeah, usually you teach here in Brazil. And that was the thing that happened with me around that time. So you play the tournaments, you're there, but you're also teaching, because otherwise it's very unstable. I mean, during those years I was able only to play. I could focus quite a lot. And it was good. But at the end, of the day. I mean, I was not that I got tired of playing, but I mean, I wanted to feel more stable generally. So I went on and started teaching back in 2016. Yeah, but that's usually what people do. I mean, I think everywhere in the world is kind of similar, because here we have less tournaments, but also there's less competition. So you can get some prizes here and there if you want only to play. If you're like in Spain, you get a lot of tournaments, but they're much stronger as well. So it's not clear like where's the best place in the world only to play. Maybe few players in the world are only just playing chess, only playing professionally and not doing anything else. So
did you study like university?
Yeah. I graduated in business administration. It was like a generic thing that I felt, okay, this feels okay, not too difficult, and I kind of enjoyed it. So.
But yeah. when you were in school, were you thinking still, am I going to do chess or am I going to do something business related? Or you're like, no, I'm just getting this degree because I don't know, I should just have it. And
I'm just getting the degree for sure. Yeah.
I see. Is it similar in Brazil? Like your family is like, no, you have to get this degree or else what are you doing with you can't just be a chess player. That's what it's like here. Your parents like, what are you doing? Like you have to get a degree.
Yeah, mostly. I mean, my parents always like support me like 100% chess. Always, but when it came to the university, and I didn't fight back. I mean, I was not like, oh my god, I'm gonna have to do university. I thought it would be like something important in life. Of course, I was very excited with chess. I was like 16, 17 is the age, one of the ages that you're like really improving and you're getting more mature. So you study more, you work more in your game. It's a very important age for your game too. But I started university. I mean, I almost dropped out of university like in the last year, which would be the most stupid thing ever that I would have done. But I finished it at the end because I couldn't take it. It was not hard or anything, but I mean, I was so excited with the tournaments, and I felt like I was, getting behind other players that were like focusing more. So I almost dropped out the last year, but that would have been a big mistake. So I finished. And
I found out that recently, actually, one of my best friends didn't actually graduate. He has 3 credits missing.
Oh,
I was like, dude, what? I mean, I had no idea. Well, he's helping me with the website and everything. So he's getting paid. I just had no idea that he didn't actually get his degree. I was like, what? So he's like, yeah, maybe I'll go back in the future. So it's funny you say that. I mean, I had a similar situation, but not fully dropping out. But I went to school and I got this honors scholarship. So I went to college in New York City. So it wasn't super expensive. Like college here is normally $60,000 a year.
Yeah, it's crazy expensive. Yeah, I've heard. Yeah.
We're good at getting money out of people here.
But you finished at the end.
Well, I finished, but my last year, you have to take this final semester, like kind of final class, capstone class, and they were only offering it in the afternoons. I said, guys, I have a chess program. I teach. I can't just not go teach. I mean, it's my job, and the program will fall apart without me. Is there any way I can maybe just do this class like without attendance, like just do the assignments or whatever? And they said, no, like you, it's one or the other. So I dropped out of the honors program after spending 3.5 years there, which,
wow.
I mean, it's life, I guess. They didn't want to work with me, but no, it's funny you say that. Yeah, we kind of similar. It wasn't clear whether I was going to play chess. I was never as good as you as a chess player, but I in New York, you can make a career teaching. Like, is it the same in Brazil? If you teach 5 days a week and then like on the weekend, you can also make a good living? Or
yeah,
okay,
definitely you can. Yeah, and I think the reality was that was the reality already before this whole chess boom in the last 2 years. But now it's even more. I mean, if you want to teach quite a lot, and I mean, I wouldn't say in Brazil. I live in São Paulo here. You could get, of course, some over-the-board students, but online, you just like there's so many people wanting to get looking for teachers. I mean, so nowadays, if you want to like make a living only by teaching, you definitely can. Yeah, you have so many players, both competitive. If you enjoy more, some teachers that really enjoy more the competitive students, but also if you want to get some casual students, they're just there's so many of them in Brazil still. even though like a year after the Netflix and everything, still it's really big, the scene. So, and I think interesting thing about the college, that university that you're mentioning, so you have to adjust sometimes the times of the classes to your chess career. So
Yep.
yeah, and the last maybe last year, I was like already not wanting to finish, but then I had an idea. I had an option to put all my classes from Tuesday to Thursday on university. So I could like go to tournaments on the weekend, get back Monday. So I was spending like the whole day, almost Tuesday, Wednesday. I was like all day there, but I had my weekends, a big weekend from Friday to Monday. So that helped. Had to make some little adjustments here and there, helped me get through the last year.
That's very clever. So that's what I did. I put all my I did Monday to Friday, but I did everything, and actually I think I had one Saturday class, but I figured out that the Saturday instructor, so my university puts Saturday instructors as like the new instructors, so that's like your test class, and they see how good of a teacher you are, and then they will bring you for the full time. So I discovered my instructor just reads the textbook. Basically, it was like an accounting class, and they don't take attendance, like they don't. So I say, hey, can you just sign me in every week? I'm just not gonna go to class on Saturdays.
Okay.
And I put all my classes like 9 to 1, and after 1 o'clock I would go have lunch, and then I would go teach. But here, because it's New York, you have like everything. You have the schools that can't afford chess but find a way to get it there, and then you still get paid because it's like a nonprofit who runs it, and the nonprofit pays you based on their donations. But we also have like ultra wealthy, crazy private schools. So you know, celebrity kids go to the school, and then, they pay you. Is there anything similar in Brazil? Like in Brazil, do you have like certain celebrities taking chess lessons, or do you have families who are taking chess lessons because it's gonna help the kid like on the resume? That's a very big thing in New York. They.
No, not that I.
Okay, so
not that I know of much. Yeah, there are some big schools, of course, wealthy schools, but usually the biggest schools in chess are not those ones. Usually they're private schools, because we have a different situation here of the public and private schools. But there are big programs there in some private schools. But we have some of these bilingual schools, huge American schools here that are like, I don't know how many $1,000,000 per month. We have that reality also here in São Paulo. Exclusive schools,
the private schools of New York are actually quite insane what they've gotten to. I've taught at schools where, I've taught the students of various top business people. Like I've gone to their homes, and this was when I was maybe 19, 20. I'm walking into this house like, dude, their kitchen is the size of my entire house. Like, I mean, it's the craziest kid, and actually one of the worst behaved kids I ever taught, used to get picked up in a bulletproof car. Like, because his family was so high up in some business and potentially in danger. I don't know. They would pick him up in like this car, all black windows. You can't see inside. It's crazy.
But it's curious that you feel so shocked about the bulletproof car. I mean, it's that uncommon there in New York?
Really? It's
No. I mean, you have to be really rich, of course, to even consider that. But it's a big business here in São Paulo.
Yeah, well, that we can talk about that too. I always like to joke that anytime I complain about the U.S. on Twitter, I'm not like super serious, but I'll make some jokes or I'll complain about something. Two countries always respond. Brazil always responds, and India.
What are you saying?
Yeah, they're like, bro, you come to Brazil, dude. You don't know what you
don't know.
Yeah. But bulletproof car is definitely a new thing. I mean, I've taught lessons where I've taught a kid who I've never met the parents. They're never home. It's usually the babysitter.
They're just
they're always traveling. They're always somewhere. I've taught. I've been in some houses that look like the Great Gatsby house. I mean, just completely ridiculous. I've rang the doorbell and a German Shepherd who is the size of me comes up to me like, oh shit, I'm gonna die.
And you're like, yeah,
so yeah, New York is a pretty crazy beast. Although I'm pretty tired of it. But yeah, it's
you're born there. You're born there.
Yeah. I'm basically born and raised. So I'm pretty tired of it. Are you tired of Brazil? I don't know if you can say you're tired of Brazil. Like if I say I'm tired of New York, people say, "Oh yeah, makes sense." But if you say I'm tired of Brazil, I feel like that's gonna be pretty bad. I feel like
No, but I really like it. I mean, of course, you have so many stuff going on here with our country, but I really like here. I probably, even if I had the choice to like go somewhere, US, Europe, any country, I like. I mean, I would probably never move anywhere else. Yeah, it's just there's some things that is just Brazilian, and it feels good to be here, even though it's far from a perfect country. Yeah.
No, that's definitely goes for everywhere. Yeah, we're thinking to move within this country, and maybe we're thinking to move somewhere else. I've always, but you've traveled a lot, right? You've traveled for chess a lot. So
I used to travel a lot. Nowadays, it's not much. It's not much. At least a few tournaments here and there. I mean, of course, we don't have many of the tournaments in the last 2 years, but my plan now is to try to play one tournament every year at least out. But
outside of Brazil?
Yeah, outside of Brazil, definitely. Yeah. Like,
you're not playing World Rapid and Blitz, right?
No, I was considering like some months ago to go there, but no, I'm not. I'm gonna be commentating, by the way, Portuguese.
Yeah, I would. You did commentary for the World Championship too, right? Yeah. And I was gonna ask you, maybe I missed it. Maybe you were making it in a different place, but why didn't you make recaps in Portuguese, or did you just not on your channel?
Yeah, I did recaps, but on Chess.com Portuguese channel, the analysis of the games. Yeah.
How was the viewership, like live and also afterward?
Oh, it was huge. Yeah, it was huge. I mean, for the Portuguese standards were really, really good. I think on the biggest games we got to almost 15,000 simultaneously, I think, which is huge for us. In the biggest moments, the game 6.
Yeah.
Probably in the last few games when wins are coming for Magnus. Yeah. So it was a big thing, this last month. There was a big hype on this World Championship.
Yeah, for sure, because it was the first one during this whole boom. I was very curious to see what was going to happen. It's good we had a game like Game 6. That was definitely important. Although that game ruined my whole day. All my plans were gone. Like I made plans.
You were not commentating live, were you?
No. But I was sitting here like on Fridays. Lucy and I have tennis. We had to cancel. Like it was crazy because our tennis lesson was right when Magnus sacked the rook in the like move 80 or something.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't think he's gonna win. I really don't think he can win this. It's like, okay, maybe we go to tennis for an hour. We come back because my biggest fear was if the game ends 30 minutes into our lesson, how the hell am I gonna make my recap? I have to be first.
You're just ready. So I was gonna ask because I mean, you usually you did the recaps, of course, on your channel.
Yeah.
But I think the minute the game ends, you're there recording.
Yeah, literally. So nice. I would spend the whole game watching every stream I can. It's like Russian stream, English stream, just like seeing what they all say, putting the analysis, like looking at the database, and it was fun. I was a little disappointed because the World Championship for me was kind of useless in terms of opening repertoire. Like they played nothing that I play. So
wow.
I don't play Catalan. I don't play E45. I mean, it's just. Did it help you at all? Like when you're doing all this commentary and analysis, do you save it like for later, or not really?
I think the analysis helped quite a lot, but in a general way. I mean, when you're spending like many hours on a game, it's a high level. When a good commentator with you, and then of course you dive into the game, you end up learning a lot. Yeah, and the openings. I mean, I would play this kind of things eventually too. So I would probably, you'd probably be helpful for me could be helpful for me at some time. Yeah.
You're a Sicilian guy though, right? Or
I play mostly E5 and C5. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I play both. Yeah, quite a lot. Yeah, it depends. Yeah, but I play.
Now I understand why we're 200 plus points apart, because you play e5, c5. I move my pawns to the 6th rank, which is why I struggle, you know.
You gotta go further.
I know.
You play the Karo-Kann, right?
Yeah, Karo is good. Well,
yeah,
that's a perfectly good transition to another Brazilian player who also plays the Karo-Kann.
Exactly. Our big friend.
Yeah, that was quite a match. I was reminiscing about it today because, like I told you before, I wanted to ask you. When was that?
Because we lose track of time, right? In this past 2 years, it was this year, right?
So I'm gonna look it up.
You're not so sure.
I think it was this year. Yeah, I think it was earlier this year. Let me see.
No, it was this year, I think. Because there are some things that happened this year that you feel, okay, that was 2020 for sure, and it's not. Yeah.
It was 9 months ago, so March.
No, it was beginning. Okay.
Yeah.
Beginning of the year.
Yeah, March 2021.
Yeah, I mean, it was such a big thing because one of the things that we're talking about the Brazilian community, the chess improved quite a lot here, but we don't get to see, I mean, our players, even online in Blitz, I mean, fights for these big events or top prizes or, you know, like, of course, Speed Chess Championship is like for only the best of the best, but these kind of events. So when we got Molina there fighting, it was so exciting because the whole community wants to see those big events because we had some thousands and thousands of new players, new followers that want to see, not only want to learn the game, but they want to root for their players. So when they saw like Brazilian player fight there for this, it was a great idea, the whole event. So it was very exciting, to be commentating on that.
It was the 2nd edition, so I played in the 1st edition of this. I'm not a GM, speech. It was a great name, by the way. Fantastic name,
How did you do in the first?
I got knocked out in the 2nd round. I remember. So all these events, like in any event that matters, I get so nervous. I mean, I really wanted to wear a device to measure my heart rate. I don't think it's allowed, but I think if we do it again, I'm just going to ask permission. I wore a device maybe for like one match or something, just to see, and I think my heart rate was like 130, 140 most of the match.
That's insane if you're not running.
I know, right? Like that's actually crazy. I think it
is.
It must be bad for my health, and I know that Roberto was also probably feeling it as well because we both played like crap. Like at certain moments, we both were just doing complete disastrous things. I remember there were games where I was dead lost, and I'm sitting there like, why is he not just like finding? I'm looking at all these tactics on the screen. Like, if he plays this, I resign. Yeah. He doesn't play it.
Because you have no idea that the other person is like completely like.
But
there's a blank in his mind. Yeah.
But he held through, and I remember I was like right in the bullet. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna catch him now, and he just like was rock solid at some moments. Is it true that after the match he said that he's gonna stop playing the Karo-Kann?
I don't remember, but he said it so many times in his life. I mean,
okay.
If I had $1 for every time he said that, I mean, because he always played the Karo-Kann, and on 2013 I worked with him. He always been a great friend of mine, but we worked together for some few norm events, and then we talked about that playing the Sicilian, and I said, okay, I gotta stop playing the Karo-Kann. That was 2013, and that was serious. We worked hard to get a different option for him, and he had a great success playing Sicilian, and then for some reason he came back to the Karo-Kann. And it's just, you cannot let it go sometimes. Well, he probably said it. Yeah,
I've been playing it for 10 years. I still can't let it go.
It's not that you should, but if you're feeling bad about it, you should stop it. If you're feeling good, there's no problem. So
yeah, well, it's
that's my view. Yeah.
There's good. I would say it's fun watching your opening go through like phases. There's I would say like 2-3 years ago, my opening strategy was I would find some main opening, slightly not main opening, so like Karo-Kann French, and I would see some line, which got played maybe 2 months ago by some GM in Europe, a couple times. So okay, great, I'm gonna analyze this line, and it's maybe the 3rd or 4th most popular like option to play in a critical position, And then I just do a bunch of research on it. I go play it a couple times, and I just, I get 1 win, 2 draws against like good players. And then here comes the flood of courses and analysis. I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, damn. And people see my games, they see the database, so I have to deviate. Dude, now everyone knows everything.
Exactly.
It's insane. Like, I'm playing these 2100s who...
You mean in classical?
Yeah, even in classical. Yeah. Who have a chessable course made by a 2100 rated player also who used Leela. And I have no advantage. Just have no advantage. It's crazy stuff. I don't understand. I mean, how do you do it?
Nowadays you gotta be okay. Of course, even if you like defense, you must be flexible nowadays, a little bit flexible at least, to have more options and try to be. I mean, of course, we shouldn't get too crazy. Like, oh, let's see what all the courses are saying, and I'm gonna play something that they don't mention here. Then you're gonna get crazy. You gotta play your lines, good lines, study them, but you gotta be ready to see that very young players and players that are much lower than you, but they can study quite a lot, and then try to bring to a position that you cannot play them. But it's becoming harder and harder for sure.
How did you do it? So how did you do it when you were, it was 2013, 2015, you were like playing your best? That's a very different time, but I'm curious how you were doing it then, how you were studying what you were dedicating most of your time to, and how you were doing it. And also now. So if you want to go play a tournament now.
About openings in general, you mean?
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know, unless you're just training also, you set up positions, solve tactics. I doubt that's what you do, but maybe it is, I don't know.
I mean, yeah, before events, nowadays I'm trying to I worked with Leitao this year a couple of times, which was great before the World Championship qualifier that I got the World Cup qualifier, and then for the World Cup also. So I always used to work quite a lot in openings since forever. So I told him, I mean, we're not going to work on openings. I did it quite a lot already. I can do that on my own. And then we only work on tactics, on positions, to improve my tactical vision in general and be more in shape for this events. But regarding openings, I usually don't get too crazy like before events. Like many years ago, it was easier, like, because I think the biggest situation in open tournaments, at least, is like how to win with black. I think that's the biggest critical one of the biggest questions, because with white, I always try to play different things with white. So I try to get my opponent in a different territory that he's not used to somehow. I mean, I played e4, d4, c4, knight f3. I kind of understood.
You're one of those. You're one of those bastards.
Yeah, I try to be as annoying as I can.
I hate that. I'm like, oh, who am I playing? Krikor? Let me look. Oh shit, he plays everything. All right, I'm not gonna prep.
I'm not exactly. That's my point. That's what I. But yeah, that was something I did maybe around that time, and then it became very annoying for the opponents to prepare. So that's a good thing with white, but with black, you cannot be playing everything. So if I do that the same thing with black, it could backfire, I think, if I try to play every single defense. So I try to focus on, like, against e4, like play the Sicilian or e5 and try to understand my opponent. Is he really gonna spend like so many hours preparing that I have to like bring him to a solid position and try to grind like Rui Lopez position e5? Or maybe I can fight him on a crazy neither. Maybe it's not too deep, because some kids, they prepare a lot, but they're not really deep. They play crazy positions and I don't care. I'm not afraid. So understanding your position is very important. But I mean, it has become more difficult with time. Yeah, I played the Brazilian Championship last 2 months ago, and I really got tested the only one game, I think, with black. So the guy played e4, and I spent it was the free day before, so I had like the whole day to prepare. And he had like 5,000 games online, so on Blitz, but he played all his repertoire online. So I had all the information possible, all possible information I had there, and I couldn't find anything like, okay, let's play this and try to keep the position. I played a neither, end up getting a worse position, and because I could play either e5, try to slowly grind. But apparently he knew everything. That's exactly what you're saying. It was a 2300 player, strong player, of course. So draw was not a bad result or anything. But I wanted to win that game. It was important for the standings. But he had all these courses clearly. He was like, and he was showing them in Blitz. That's what made me go crazy, because usually we don't know what they play in this specific line, but he showed it everything in his Blitz games. But even like that, I had a few options there. But anyway, it didn't work out, and I was almost in danger of getting a bad position.
So, how did the game go?
It was a draw at the end, yeah. But I suffered a little bit, yeah.
That makes sense. I'm curious in that in that time slot. So your game is done, like for the day, but you have the rest day, and then you have your next game after the rest day. At which point do you? So you're probably actively thinking about just the tournament and the next game all the time. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but at what point do you actually start preparing? Like for me, I'm very random. I mean, I might spend the night before just looking up his games. Or do you not do that so you can sleep normally?
I mean, actually, it was not a full rest day, but I mean, we had like the round at like 8 p.m. only. It was like I had a whole day. Okay. Yeah, but it was kind of the same, yeah. So, I mean, if I have the whole day ahead of me, I'll probably take a look at the day before. But in the day of the game, I would probably, I mean, I don't prepare in a healthy way. I prepare quite a lot more than I should. Okay. Since ever, it's something that I got used to do. Something that I like doing. Is probably not the best because you get tired sometimes. But as soon as the day begins, I just start looking at what they play and go through all possible things that could happen. So
how close do you get to the game and you've already decided what your first move is going to be? I have moments where 10 minutes before the game I'm still deciding if I'm going to play this or that, you know, if I'm going to go for this or that. Is 10 minutes too short? Or like at which point do you say, no, I'm going to play this, no more doubts? And
I mean, in the past it was pretty bad. I mean, you should never do that. I mean, you should decide before. Yeah. I don't know if you're the same kind of guy, but I deal very badly with decisions, everything in my life. So, I mean, I just get, is it better this way? Maybe it's better that way. And you just go to the deadline. Yeah.
And it's tricky. I also have moments where during the game, I'm like, shit, why didn't I play the other thing? Or,
yeah, that's a normal feeling.
You know, afterward.
But no, it's a bad feeling, definitely. But for this, the preparation, it's something I started doing like a few years before. Sometimes I, of course, go back to the bad habit. But you should decide, like when you start preparing, you have like a few hours ahead of you. You should decide, because otherwise you're not going to go deep into the line that you want. You're not going to prepare properly. You have to decide before. You have to deal with that and then not go back. Doesn't matter what happens unless you find something horrible in your preparation. You just have to go with that. And
I was just going to say, like, even if you do, sometimes I'm watching these games and these opens and GMs are getting, okay, like computer hates the position and then they just win in 10 moves like nothing. I mean, they just outplay their opponent and that's it.
Yeah, that's finding a position that you cannot play your opponent, even though you know it could be bad. But I think the most important thing is like run away from the trend a little bit. So before events, during the events, of course, you're only gonna check openings. But before the events, try to work in other areas of your game, especially tactics. Calculate quite a lot, because you already get crazy enough during the tournament with the opening. So before, you have to be sure you're calculating well, evaluating well the positions, and that's going to help you in every single game. No matter what happens, it's going to help you if you're in shape. Your mind is in shape there.
What kind of a loser are you? Like when you lose, what's the emotion you experience?
I mean, inside or outside, depends, because
both. You could be honest. I mean, me, I guess it also depends. Yeah. I mean, some games you get killed, you just kind of like, okay. I mean, I'm assuming you get killed in games less than me, but sometimes.
But it
Obviously,
happens. It happens.
the worst kind of game is winning and then losing, like just like not being able to win. I think I'm a sad loser. I very rarely get angry. I only get angry, I think, when I screw up winning positions. But definitely an emotion that's relatively common, which I've experienced in my life, is okay. You know what? Screw. Like, I don't even want to play chess anymore. This is like the worst game ever. Why am I putting myself through this? I'm like that
Why
kind
I
of loser. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I get really pissed off. Yeah, inside, definitely. It's it depends quite a lot how the game went, but usually it's a very bad feeling. I think it changed over the years a little bit, and sometimes I feel bad that I don't feel as bad as before, because when I felt even worse after the games was when I was playing my best or giving my best, I think, in every game. Not that I don't do that anymore, but sometimes I feel like, come on, why am I not like, punching the walls? And I'm joking, I never did that. But I mean, why am I not like really angry and pissed off, like Kasparov kind of thing, you want to...
Magnus style, yeah.
Magnus, exactly. So I think it's the anger you get after a game inside, of course. Yeah, outside you should never be doing anything. Yeah, like, be rude to people, because everyone already, I'm sure everyone did that in their life. You lose and you start, answering someone or something with the outside. But when you get more angry or sad, it's just a natural reaction, and then it gives you more fuel, I guess, to go after the next games. But of course, it's not a good feeling. Yeah, so maybe it changed a little bit over the years, but it still is a very bad feeling. Yeah, it's not like, okay, I lost, let's see what happens. It's not a good sign when that happens.
Yeah. Analyze the game and learn from it. It's like, no, it's like good to be pissed off, a healthy amount of pissed off. I'm always very impressed by Anish Giri, how he deals with loss. I think it might be the best I've ever seen. I mean, it's like fascinating. Do you remember when he lost the playoff, Tata Steel, to Jordan?
Yeah, sure.
And I mean, he like came next day, I think, to Chess Base India. He was just, or maybe even the same day, he was just sitting there like, I'm gonna play more tournaments. I'm gonna lose more games. It's not my last loss, not my last tournament. I'm like,
rationalizing.
What, dude? Man, I would be so pissed off. Like I get pissed off random blitz games on my phone more than he does over that game. Like,
I mean, there's one thing that I think we get used to, because of course the feeling when you lose is gonna be bad. There's no way around it. But I mean, I remember there was this one game. It was in 2012. It was this continental tournament that was World Cup qualifier. So the first time I qualified for the World Cup was 2019. Before that, I tried so many times. I was failing. So in 2012, I had this last round game, and it was so dramatic. I had a draw to go into the tiebreak. I was probably qualifying with a draw. So I had to make a draw there, had a lousy position at the opening. And then we get to the move 39. There was a time control at 40.
Yeah.
And he blew up the position. I mean, he played it badly. I could make a draw. I could make it a draw in the move 39. If I make the right move, it's an easy draw. So it's my last move. I'm time trouble. I make a wrong move. I lose the game. And it's like, I had a good tournament, great tournament there, but I didn't qualify. I felt so bad. That was probably one of the worst times that I felt about game. And it's like that feeling. I mean, I'm never gonna be like, excited again with chess. It's so painful. And then there was this other tournament. 2 days later, I won the first round against the GM with black pieces, and I said, okay, feel good again. It's fine.
Yep.
So the thing is, the next tournament usually brings, breaks that feeling. Is the only thing that could make you feel, of course, having the people that you love close to you is important. You have support from your friends, from your loved ones. But the thing that will probably, fix that thing is the next tournament, next game, and then it goes away. It's just crazy sometimes.
I definitely, yeah, I know. I don't know if you saw my one of my last videos for some tournament. It was the tournament I played in St. Louis. It was one of the worst games I've ever felt afterward. Probably like top three. I was playing in. It was like already not a great tournament, but I was kind of winning. The game before I won a ridiculous game. It was like completely lost, and I won. It's like, okay, good. Let's make some momentum. So I'm playing this. I'm playing a kid. He's 10 years old, 2,300.
10, wow.
11-year-old, not number one
Oh, okay.
11-year-old in the country. And
Wow.
I see he plays the King's Indian defense. And I was ready to uncork my prep, which I have never played publicly. 4 pawns attack, like, good line, get it, And I'm just like playing a nice game. And he's down 40 minutes on the clock. It's plus 2.5. Like, I know I'm winning. I'm playing like really nice creative attack. And at some point I make a slight like inaccuracy and I'm walking around. I'm thinking, man, he can play this move that I just forgot about. He plays it. I'm like, damn, okay, let me try to focus so I don't let the initiative slip. And this kept happening throughout the game. He just kept finding this one move that it's like, maybe he can survive. And finally, I got to a position where I lost my whole time advantage and ended up losing the game. Like, I had to be precise. It was a ridiculous stockfish kind of thing. And so I went from, instead of winning a game in 2 hours and using my prep for the first time, I leak my preps. Now everybody knows what I'm playing. I lose a game where I'm winning. And I just like left that game and I just felt so horrible. So I didn't play round 9. I like withdrew from the tournament and I still had to make my...
I didn't play. Wow.
No, I was like, I'm going to lose the next game too. It's going to get even worse. I said, you know what? No, I'm not going to do it. I just felt so bad. I still had to make the recap because as part of the grind,
But the recap is, I mean, I did some analysis of these painful games. I don't know if you're going to say that, but doing the recap,
helps.
Talking helps quite a lot. Yeah.
Yeah,
getting it out. Yeah,
it's almost like therapy.
It's a therapy.
Reading the comments after is definitely not therapy.
Yeah,
so, because there's
what
a lot
kind of comments like, "Don't worry, Levy, you're gonna have better results. Don't worry." Those kind of comments.
No, that's fine. I love the support. The problem is
the support is nice, but there's some kind of
I know exactly what you mean. I talk about this a lot. Actually, I've noticed this in not in my stream, but I've definitely noticed this. Like if I ever watch female streamers, there's a lot of this like, "Oh, honey, don't worry, it's gonna be fine." I'm like, hey, nobody tells me that. You guys laugh at me when I lose.
Yeah, but like let me feel bad for a while. Like, no, forget that. Come on, it's nothing.
Yeah, but no. It's for me. It's because I have my guess the elo. Like I have stuff where I'm like making fun of sometimes like games and whatnot, and I'm pretty open politically. So people who don't see eye to eye with me politically, they're gonna go and say things like you're never gonna be GM, which is fine. But when I'm that pissed off, it definitely has.
Well, but also you're like insanely huge on YouTube, so I mean, the amount of comments that you're gonna receive.
Exactly.
Statistics.
So, yeah.
Statistics. Yeah.
Exactly. So you can't really let it get to you. So that video I just made, and I said, I'm not gonna go on my phone, or I will, but I'm only gonna message my friends. And then I had a really funny thought. It was like, man, this is one of the worst feelings of my life, and a 10-year-old made me feel this way.
Yeah. He didn't tell me anything. He didn't say anything. He didn't hit me or.
I was like, I'm gonna remember this game for the rest of my life probably, and this dude is gonna go play 1,000 more games and forget it ever happened. He's gonna go become GM at 14, and it's like, why do I feel like this is so stupid? And
the one who hits doesn't remember usually. Yeah.
Yep.
The one that exactly. That's
it's such a funny feeling.
Yeah, you just gotta be careful because next time you have like a great position +3. If it's winning, you have an extra hour on the clock. You can't feel like, oh, I'm gonna destroy this position again. That's the danger. Yeah, like to feel like, and then it may happen in our minds. Yeah, because I'm gonna destroy it. I'm pretty sure it's going so well. Something is gonna happen here. It's going so well. I'm better. More time on the clock. He doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah, I've always been a better teacher than a player. Like the things that I say, I tend to not do in my own games. So, for example, don't play the previous game in the current game.
Oh yeah, it's easy to say.
I know it's easy. It's brilliant. It sounds so smart, but then you're in the game. You're like, I'm
Yeah.
so pissed off. I didn't win last round. And so you play the prior round, but.
But there's a tendency that this typical situation that you have more time on the clock, you're better, you were able to play your preparation. There's a big tendency that he's gonna start playing better than you because he's much more concentrated than you are, because he started thinking from move 5 or 10 or whatever, and you're not thinking yet. You haven't started thinking because you're prepared everything before. Of course, you have a great idea of the position. You maybe have deeper analysis, but you're not into the game. So there was this player, Brazil, Giovanni Vescovi, probably heard, strong GM. He doesn't play anymore.
Vescovi, yeah.
Vescovi, yeah, he was like 26-60, and he had this habit. He was never really good in openings, but he has this habit of playing. Yeah, I mean, he was not his specialty as openings. Funny. He was strong, of course, but and he was a very strong player in middle game and end games. So he used to spend quite a lot of time in the openings, even when he knew what was going on, to concentrate. It was like sometimes crazy. He spent like half an hour in the first moves, but he needed that to get into the game. He explained that once. That was his take. So when the game really starts, both players start thinking on their own. He's in the zone already. And when you're well prepared, you rely too much on the openings. And okay, whenever he makes a different move, I'm going to start thinking. But it's not like that. You have to spend some time to get in a classical game. So,
wow, didn't even. So does he not play anymore?
No, he hasn't played for like 10 years or so. Yeah, he's not.
What is he doing if not chess?
He works in the financial market. Yeah, market.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yes.
I mean, if it's not chess, then that's probably because I didn't realize he was so high rated. I've heard of his name, but I mean, oh my god, so is he the highest rated Brazilian in history?
Yeah, Fear got to 2650 something, and he got 2660 published. Of course, Macking was like top 3 in the world in the past, but it was a lower rate. It was 2635 or something for Macking. But I mean, if you think by numbers, yeah, he was the highest rated player.
That makes sense. What was it like playing Magnus?
That was cool. Yeah, that was 2014, and it was a rapid. It was a mixed event. So the first games were rapid, and the last few games were 1 hour for each player.
Oh, okay.
So it was not like a super classical game with increment. There was no increment in this game, by the way. It was like a 1 hour game with no increment. So it was like 2 days event. I had won my first 6 games. He had 5.5 because he had made a draw with Milos the day before. So I was leading the tournament, and of course I got the best pairing in the world. Of course everyone was there to play him. So I was just wondering what was I going to feel when I got paired with him. And it's not a bad, I mean, it's not I get nervous, because the only thing that got me nervous was like making a horrible game.
Yeah.
That was my only fear, like just to make a ridiculous game and not enjoy the experience. But it's a weird feeling because you have zero responsibility at all, like to make a score against him. He's like a player that beats everyone in the world. So what are you worried about?
I see.
So it was a good feeling coming to the game. And the game was nice. Yeah, it was a little bit worse always, but I had my chances to make it. I was playing very solid, and I kept playing that way. At what moment I blundered something, he won a pawn, and that was it. Yeah. But I had one chance to like sacrifice something to like turn the situation of the position. But I was not like that relaxed to go there and sacrifice something, and you try to keep the position. But it was a great game, yeah, by him, and I played normal. But it's a nice feeling to have like the best player in the world thinking. He spent some time there, so it was not like an easy game or anything.
Did you prepare at all?
Yeah, Yeah, I did prepare. I mean, I
He's like, what opening is Magnus gonna go for?
yeah, he could play anything. Yeah, but I, I imagine he would play like e4. Mostly that what he did, and I played e5, and I just checked this. Of course, it's not his style, but some crazy lines because I just didn't want to lose like easily. So I just double checked some gambit stuff like that. But he ended up playing this Italian very slow that I hadn't prepared anything, but I played by had some knowledge of the position. So it was nice. And close to the end of the game, I was so I was going to resign already. I was thinking what I'm going to ask him about the game because I was so excited to see what he thought in some positions. But I was so nervous at the end, just resigned just to talk with him, had some conversation that I just asked something and I couldn't even talk about the game. But he was nice. We talked a little bit about the situations, but I couldn't ask what I really wanted about the game. Yeah. But it was a great experience. Yeah, maybe probably once in a lifetime. Yeah, not gonna happen again.
Why go to
candidates?
No, I mean I was gonna say Rapid and Blitz, but actually I guess to play in Rapid and Blitz you have to catch him in the first few rounds because otherwise he's gonna go all the way to the top and you got to beat everybody too. So it's not easy.
Or with the candidates.
Yeah,
that's
also true.
It's another way to get it.
I mean, yeah, it's pretty interesting. Like the top guys in chess are in a bubble, so it's tough to catch them. I mean, once you get past like 2,700 or something, it's you just sort of
you can
go up there and into the clouds.
Yeah, because like in poker, of course, it's hard to play the same events of these big guys, but you can play like this main event and be in the same table as one of your idols. But in chess, it's like nearly impossible to play against them, especially like kind of slightly longer time control.
Have you played Magnus at all online or
no
like in the titled arena?
no
That's but you've played probably on chess.com. Obviously the highest rated player would be Hikaru, yeah, and like who else? I'm sure in Title Tuesday you get like these.
Yeah, I played with against Fabi a few times, some blitz games. Yeah, I played with Ding Liren also. I played with Ding in 2011 also in a classical game, but when he was really talented already. He was a prodigy, but he was not Ding Liren as we know today. But it was this in Aeroflot Open in Moscow.
Yeah, how was that tournament? I hear it's like extremely prestigious, like really nice, but is it true?
It's nice. Yeah, it's nice. Definitely. It's like it was the winter. Yeah, so it's January, so you cannot. It's like -20 on the streets.
Yeah,
so it's completely insane for someone who lives in Brazil. But tournament is great. I mean, it's great. So yeah, I scored like it was a very boring result. I think 6 draws, 2 losses, and I won a game. Yeah, it's like that. It was a decent result. Yeah.
There's sections that are super like crazy, right? Like, did you play in B or C?
Yeah. No, I played the A. The A is 2550 plus 2550.
Oh, I thought A was like 26, like 27 only.
No.
Oh, okay. You can play.
No, it's 2550. I was a little a little below that, but if you ask, sometimes they allow you to play if you're close. I had the chance to play the B, which was like 2550 less until 24 something. But I wanted to play against the big guys, but also I was a little bit worried to play in the section B and get a horrible tournament. Right. With all these Russian players, strong players.
It's the most unique section, I think, anywhere in the world. Like it's so strong. Like the B section, like you said, is basically 24 to 2550, which is just insane. I mean, it's killers in there. I mean, it's.
Yeah, you can try to play for prizes, but it's insane. I mean, anyone there could be. You're gonna have like crazy. All the 9 rounds will be so tough. But it was definitely great. I didn't play again. Because one is expensive to go there. Second is weather is really cold. Third, you're gonna get there to get spanked in every game. So it's hard to find.
Yeah.
Brutal, yeah. You go there in the cold, pay a lot of money to play difficult games. Yeah. But of course, it's part of
There's this strategy in fighting that you fight a bunch. You get paid the most money to get the easiest fights. Like in boxing, you build your record and you build your until you get to the championship. So I guess the question is, would you rather play Aeroflot Open every year and get a chance to play the top guys, or if I could promise you to play in some random tournament but gain points until you're like 2650? Which one sounds better?
Yeah, probably go back to Russia and cry there.
So no, that's good. That's admirable. Yeah, because you can get like 2600 rating just playing some random tournaments, but it's good to have a challenge. I mean, obviously the best is to have the challenging tournament and then win and do a good job. And
yeah, exactly. Try to, but yeah. So yeah, I guess those were the games, I think, against these top guys and some blitz eventually. I played with Hikaru quite a lot, of course, and other guys, but it's not quite the same. Yeah, and also in the Olympiad we have the chance to play against these strong teams once in a while, but it doesn't happen every time, and you gotta be board one also to like play the best against them. And we played China a few times and England, but we never played Russia or just like in crazy, or the US. Yeah, it's crazy. China, when we played, was not as strong as it became later.
They're the champions, right? I think. Oh, not because it was online, but what last over the board Olympiad.
In 2018, they won, yeah.
Both men's and women's, yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
they won tie breaks.
But
against the US, yeah.
I mean, the US is now Fabiano, Wesley, Levon, and Dominguez. So
Dominguez is a solid fourth board there.
It's completely insane. I mean, we have one guy who was born in Brooklyn, New York, but lived most of his life in Italy. Yeah. As Magnus Carlsen said, buying nerds. That's what we're doing.
It's working well.
Yeah, I mean, if we're gonna win, it's gonna be good.
I mean, the Russian team, of course, they're not winning the Olympiad for a long time already, but I mean, Nepo, Karyakin, Grishuk, and Esipenko is not is a bad team either. But
well, it should be Dubov, but not anymore. Yeah, I think we won't be seeing him.
Okay. Oh, maybe right. Dubov.
That was what they said. They said it was treasonous what he did for the match.
I think he'll still play, but I don't know.
I think so. I don't think it's going to be such a big deal. But I imagine a country like Russia. I mean, I imagine Brazil too, or not so bad. Like if I don't know, if you played World Championship and they discovered that Leitao was helping the opponent.
Let's imagine that situation.
That probably would.
I mean, no, I don't think it would be. I mean, of course, in a country that like us, that we don't have that many top players, would be like more, the impact would be bigger in a way. But it's not like it would be. It's an individual event, so yeah.
That makes sense.
I think it's part of
the question I ask everybody before we go is what's next? What's for the future? I can tell you that after the World Championship, I had a massive drop of adrenaline and excitement, and I don't know if you've experienced the same thing, or maybe you have some exciting stuff coming up. What's next in the life of Krikor, or just the same?
Well, yeah, we have the World Rapid and Blitz, which is very exciting event. I'm going to be commentating. But yeah, for next year, I'm going to play some tournaments definitely here, try to play also abroad maybe, but basically, yeah, it's probably coming the same what happened this year, last year. Going to keep streaming, try to play some tournaments here and there, probably stay away from the US when trying to get to 2600. not been helping me.
It's tough here, yes.
It's a smart idea. but yeah, basically, yeah, pretty excited with what chess became in the last few years. Not only, of course, what we saw there in these events for commentating the World Championship, but of course, many new people that came into chess, and many people that I think saw chess as a great hobby and something fun to do in this difficult times we had in 2020 and 2021. I'm sure you get similar messages all the time.
Yeah.
How the content helps people get through difficult times. And I particularly had no idea of this like 2-3 years ago, that we can create content in that and be good to people in that manner, and makes chess much more than a game or a competition or high-end events. So that's one of the things that makes me more happy nowadays, to hear that this kind of impact that we bring. And I mean, I'm sure you feel that way, especially since you're like the biggest YouTube channel and you impact so many persons and every day, and chess is much bigger than what we learned in the beginning, I think.
It's completely insane what Queen's Gambit did, obviously, and just the pandemic. I wish we didn't have to suffer a pandemic which killed millions of people in order for chess to start getting played more. But I'm obviously super grateful for the Queen's Gambit. No, yeah, I mean, of course, I get these messages all the time. It's like, it's awesome to read. It's awesome that we just have a community of people who, they're gonna click the YouTube app and like see what's going on in the world of chess. It's never been a thing, and just super exciting. I know for myself personally, I'm like blown away by the scale of which this has all grown, but I'm already trying to find, ways that we can kind of go beyond it as well. Like I cannot imagine making guess the ELO for the next 10 years.
Probably.
I'm gonna be a dad or something, and we're gonna be living in honey, I gotta record my YouTube video for today. It's so gotta think about what to put in place in chess to leave it for the future, to kind of pass it off to people, but also
that's nice. Well, internet is changing all the time, so we have no idea what's is going to look in like 5 or 10 years from now. Yeah.
Who knows? NFTs, you gotta start selling photos of yourself, like beating it, somebody celebrating,
the score sheets. Yeah.
Great. The last fun thing we can leave off on is did you see Kasparov is doing NFTs?
Yeah. We were talking about that on my stream yesterday. So the score sheet.
Yeah, they have very like bad reputation. But did you see how much money they're making?
Yeah, the score sheet against Karpov was on nearly $200,000. Yeah.
The dinner cost $500,000.
Yeah.
Getting a dinner.
With the dinner. Oh yeah, I know, but I didn't see the money. Yeah.
It's like, dude. I mean, people are mad at him. I'm like, dude, God bless you. Make as much money as you need.
Yeah. I don't understand these things yet. It's too modern for me, but I know they're making a lot of money. Many people are making a lot of money out of that. But yeah, good for him, I guess.
That's exactly how I feel. Well, thanks so much for joining. Honestly, I really wanted to kind of get to know you better. I only know you because you kick my ass every time we play. I haven't beaten you on chess.com in like 2 years. 3 years. Last time I beat you was in 2018, dude.
No, but we haven't played that much.
I know, but still, it's a fun statistic. I haven't beaten you in 3 years. We don't play a whole lot. I actually get super nervous when I play like streamers and all this stuff, because I know I'm not playing people who have like, you got like people watching and everything. I hate playing you guys, so I play much worse.
And they're gonna feel the same when they play you, probably.
Maybe.
Oh, he's streaming the game.
Yeah, maybe that's a good.
It's gonna make fun of my moves. Yeah.
Probably, yes, but I also make fun of my own moves. So,
yeah.
So, I just I wanted to say thank you, and you have a busy day ahead. You have to do the commentary, Hikaru versus Wesley. So,
right.
I hope you have a fun commentary, and I mean, maybe we can do something together in the future. So, but for now, I appreciate it a lot.
I think the first sub battle I did was against you, if I'm not wrong.
Probably.
Maybe it was the first ever, for us, for my channel. Yeah.
It's been like
so long, yeah.
I know it's been a very long time. Yeah, I have all sorts of like different content ideas, so I'm always happy to invite I just I don't stream anymore like at all. So when I start streaming a bit more actively, yeah, we'll do something.
You YouTube, you're more on YouTube now. You're creating all sorts of content. That's great. So thank you so much for having me over here, and nice to talk a little bit about lots of things, and good luck to you. And of course, congrats on where you got there. It's pretty impressive and amazing, and it helps quite a lot. Not only the viewers in English that are watching your content. I'm pretty sure there's so many people everywhere in the world that get to your content and then get to somewhere else. So it's opening doors for everyone.
My clips guy is Daily Dose of Chess, who's from Brazil, and let me tell you, anytime I play anyone with a Brazilian flag, suddenly my whole chat speaks Portuguese.
So nice.
There's a lot of
They're very passionate. They're very passionate. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I appreciate it a lot. I'm a big fan of mixed martial arts, so I know I know the Brazilian passion for sports. I'm just very glad I haven't had to have a beef with a Brazilian guy. So
stay away from that.
It's the last thing that I want. But yeah.
Okay.
I'll let you know when we publish it. But for now, take care.
Thank you so much, man. See ya.
As always, folks, if you've made it this far, I'd like to personally thank you very much for the continued support of my main chess content, but as well as this podcast. You know where to find me if you'd like to show some support. And I will see you next time, right back here in Gotham City with our next guest.